Hello, hello, my beautiful beloveds. Thank you so much for your presence. I'm grateful that you're here. Welcome to another episode of 50 Flirty and Fiercely Alive Sacred Sexuality at Every Age. This show, this episode, this series was brought about by the fact that I have very recently turned 50 years old, and that just completely boggles my mind, and everybody else that knows as well or finds out, they're like, you're not 50. I'm like, I am 50. Yes, it's true. But I just have so much vitality and youthful energy, and I do not look 50, right? 50 is the new or can be the new 30, I feel like. But I'm in the prime of my life. I have more energy than I ever have. I feel more attractive than I ever have. I just feel so much more vital and inspired and creative and passionate, and just my energy is just whoo and connected, and so much more in self-love and worthiness and confidence, and with so much courage to just like really live my life and do it right. I feel like the more I've gone on my spiritual path, the more I've aged backwards, right? I just get like a fine wine, just keep getting better and better and better, and just more attractive, right? I mean, I see myself, 10, 15 years ago, and I'm a completely different person. And I've seen that with a lot of people that are on the spiritual path and doing so many practices and getting so much more consciousness around their energy and doing things to drastically shift their energy. It shows, right? It really shows. It really changes our body. The eating healthier, getting more exercise. I mean, those kind of things are the basics, but energy healing and working with our thought patterns and clearing our mind and surrounding ourselves with healthier frequencies and making different conscious decisions and flooding ourselves with positive energy and affirmations, and so many ways that energy shows up in our world, right? And there's so many ways that we get to decide which energy we're going to connect with and have in our experience. This is how we get to create our own reality. We get to decide what energy we surround ourselves with and what we align with, right? It's all here, and so much of it is it's like perspective. When we shift our perspective, the more consciousness we gain around how to view the world, and how moving out of so much judgment and criticism, right? When we judge so many things in our world as negative or bad, then that's what we're gonna feel. It's gonna get reflected back to us. And when you start shifting that and just like not being in so much judgment, allowing things to be as they are, coming into acceptance and just like letting things be, it really changes our experience. This is one of the ways that energy works, and how we get to decide. It's one of that story, or there's a couple of stories that are coming to mind right now, like the elephant, right? Where a bunch of blind people are touching the elephant, and each one, just depending on their perspective, is having a very different experience. I grew up in my family with a brother and sister. The three of us all had very different experiences, but we were in the same environment, in the same family, and we each turned out very differently, and we each have things that are very drastically different, important to us in how we live our lives. So that's the thing, but it's all like what's important to us, what our perspective is, how we relate to the world, what choices that we've made, and how we decide, how we choose to relate to our experience of growing up. That can be, do we relate to it as a very empowering thing that was part of our path and led us to where we are, or are we in victim mentality around it and judging it and blaming people, right? So that's the perspective shift. And the higher our consciousness goes, and the more we understand that we get to make those decisions for ourselves. Not saying that's always easy, but we can take responsibility and move out of victim consciousness and change our perspective. Shift. So wow, I just kind of went off on a tangent there, but that's awesome. So that all came from what I was talking about with people, how they are looking drastically different, and their energy and vitality as they age and go along their path, they actually get younger, right? And this is a kind of common phenomenon, and you may have recognized this as well. And some people just really age not so well. It's a very heavy process for them, right? And there's a lot of disease in the body and such. So for me, I have definitely been aging backwards, and I'm just in a completely different place. And that inspired me because I did just turn 50, and I kind of love sharing that. And I feel like it's very inspiring. I wanted to share what my practices are, my daily practices. I have a number of things I do every day, or pretty much every day, right? That are my foundation and have drastically shifted my energy and have helped me to be in this state, supported me to be just so healthy and vital and youthful and passionate, and just, again, that's what this sexual energy is when it's free to flow in us, which is what all these practices are about, right? Which is, any energy practice is going to support that flow of energy. So when it's allowed to flow, we're in our passion, we're in our creativity, we're in vitality, we're in that life force energy. When it's stuck, stagnant, blocked, and from all the fear-based living, unhealthy eating, so many different ways, surrounding ourselves by negative energies, low vibe frequencies. I won't judge them as negative, but low vibe frequencies, right? Like media, news. It's just like bombarding us with fear. That takes us down. It keeps us at this level here, like, it just does. It's just how energy works. Again, this is not about judgment. It's not judging. It's just recognizing and getting conscious of it. Like, okay, here's what happens when I surround myself with that energy. I get fearful. I get scared. I get defensive. And then I want to hide. I want to, notice that. Then we can just shift out of that. We can make a different decision for ourselves. We don't have to judge it and just go, okay, yeah, that's always there. We can always connect with that, right? Oh my gosh. But back to what I was saying, a number of daily practices that I do that support the flow of the sacred sexual energy of my life force energy. So that just drastically changes my experience, right? And allows me to really live in the life of my dreams and create the life of my dreams, which doesn't mean I'm not without, no challenges or anything. I don't have emotional stuff come up, but I move through it very quickly, right? And I don't get attached to it. And it's just a very different way than I used to relate to heavy emotions or challenges in my world, right? It's just very, very, very different. And this is what happens as we go along our spiritual path, which is what this channel is all about, sacred sexuality and the spiritual path, right? So hence my desire to share these practices with you. And these are practices I share with all of my clients and that I share in my programs. And, they've picked up along the way. I've been on this journey for a very long time. So I've been doing this for a long time, and I know what really supports me in my process, and I've seen support other people. So I'm just sharing this with you. And a lot of these probably aren't necessarily going to be new for you, but maybe they'll inspire you to revisit them or try them on for yourself. So, and again, I am not a medical practitioner, so none of this is medical advice. I'm just sharing from my own experience what has worked for me and what I've played with and what's been a total game changer. Today, that was a huge introduction. I just really got off on a couple of things, but today we're going to talk about earthing, the importance of grounding down and connecting with the earth, bare feet on the earth, or even touching a tree, which is grounded into the earth, right? It's connecting with the frequency of the earth, which is very supportive and nourishing for us and helps us to ground down. And there's actually a lot of science behind this, and I'm going to post a video, a documentary down below for you to check out. I think it's just called Earthing the Movie or Earthing the Documentary. This is where I learned about it and was just like, oh my gosh, it's the simplest, easiest process. All we have to do, we don't even have to stay on bare feet on the ground. You just put your hand on a tree, right? Touch a plant that's already grounded down. And that can really, what it does is it just really helps to neutralize some of that. I think it's the ions. I don't have actually the words, so I don't have all the science like memorized of it, but it just shifts our frequency and it allows the frequency of the earth up into our frequency. And it just really helps us to release so much stress and anxiety and tension. And it just helps to neutralize us. And normally, I guess we're supposed to be more connected to the earth, but through our shoes that are rubber or man-made materials, it disconnects us from the connection with the earth. And if shoes that are more natural material, those are going to help you. You're going to be connected to the earth, more often, more regularly, right? So those are choices that we can make for ourselves. Healthy shoe choices, right? There's so many ways that we get to decide about our frequency and our experience, and that's just one. But every morning I go out and I stand, and this is great because I can stand. I'm not going to go and stand on the grass because my feet get wet and it's cold, and this is where we stand anyways, it's cold, but that's just messy for my feet and wet, and my feet don't like to be wet. So there's a concrete pad that's the patio, and I can stand on that. And because that concrete is an earth material, the frequency still comes through from the earth. So it really depends on what you're standing on. Some things the frequency doesn't come up the same. So that's why when you're in a house, it's not grounded the same way. So from what I understand anyway. So you need to get outside and really connect with the earth there. So, but it just really brings everything down and just shifts the energy so quick, and I can just feel it. And it's a really powerful practice to just connect with the earth every day. And because we've gotten so disconnected, and it has drastically shifted our frequency and really supported more dis-ease in the body, because our energies are all there's so much to it, and I'm not going to keep going on about that, but it's a very powerful practice, and it has drastically changed some people and healed them of disease. Again, I'm going to put the link down below, so I invite you to explore that for yourself. Don't just take my word for it, and try the practice, right? Don't take my word for it. None of this is like to be taken at face value. See what works for you. This is just, again, about the practices I do every day to really support me to be in my power and in healthy energy and healthy sacred sexual flow, right? So I'm going to demonstrate, because this is just fun right now. So come with me and bear with me with the camera. I've got my laptop, so it might be a little awkward, but we're going to see. We're going to demonstrate. And I get to show you this beautiful, oh good. It is snowing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so a little cold out here for earthing, but okay, so let's see how we're going to do this. Ooh, let's see. There they are. Tootsies on the ground. That's simple. You just stand there for a little while. And it can be standing, like some mornings I'm only out here for a minute, because like right now it's really freaking cold, right? This is chilly. So my paws are like, whoa. But even any connection with the earth like that is really going to be supportive. So, okay. That was fun. Thanks for going out there with me. But it's really that simple. Just ground down. But yeah, if you can sit on the ground, if you can do your practice out there, do meditation, just have a picnic, anything. But don't complicate it. See, like for me, sometimes it really is like 30 seconds and I just like stand there like, okay. But it really shifts my frequency and really helps me to stay connected with the earth and in alignment, body, mind, spirit. I really recommend this documentary because they explain it so much better. But again, I just wanted to share some practices with you. My laptop is sliding back, so there we go. Okay. I'm just so passionate about all of us being in happy, healthy body, minds, and spirits, right? Just really rocking it out. So make sure. Clear screen there. Yeah, and our sacred sexual energy flowing through. The more in alignment, more harmony we come into body, mind, and spirit, and with our energy and with our frequency, and do these practices that really shift us. We're going to have a very drastically different experience of our world, very drastically different. And that's what it's been for me. When I first started learning energy practices in the when I met my authentic tantra teacher and started learning how to work with energy and doing various practices, like, it was a complete game changer. My whole life changed. Issues that I'd been dealing with, around like victim consciousness, abandonment, just being in a punishment mentality, feeling like I was just a horrible, bad person. There was so many things, and depression type of issues, and so much. There was so much, and just heaviness and lethargy and stuck, blocked energy, right? starting to do these various practices like really shifted things so much. And that's why I'm so passionate about energy healing and energy work, and working with all of these practices to support our process, because I know the power of it. And I've seen it work for other people. I see what's possible and what we're capable of. With some of it's just really simple and really basic, right? But it's consistency. It is consistency. Like I said, I do these practices pretty much daily, right? And sometimes I'll miss a day with some things, but overall, again, especially because my frequency is just so drastically changed, you can skip a day, right? But it builds. It's not something you just go and do earthing one day and go, okay, I'm good, right? You got to continue with these. It is consistency, and it's discipline, and it's dedication, but it pays off really quickly, and you'll start to see shifts really, really, really fast. So it's powerful practices. So I think that's it. I think check out the documentary and see for yourself and try it for yourself. I'm so excited, and especially once it starts getting warmer, right? It'll be nice. But yeah, I could have walked out there with my shoes and just put a hand on a tree, and I would have gotten the same effect, and my feet wouldn't have been cold, right? So, there's different ways, and you can get grounding mats, earthing mats that you can have in your house. You can have them on your bed. Again, the documentary explains so much. It's a game changer. It's a game changer. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching all the way through. If you got this far, I'm trying to keep these a little bit shorter, but I love to talk, as you have no doubt guessed. Please check out the rest of the series for more tools and practices to support you in your sacred sexuality journey, to be in your power and your passion, your creativity, and your life force energy, to stay vital, youthful, healthy, strong, beautiful, fit for as long as you want, right? Let's see how long we can keep this going. I think would just continue to age backwards and get like better and better and better and just more vital. The more we learn, the more conscious we get, right? I want to see how far we can get. I'm ready to live to 111 and still rocking it out, right? Still dancing, still having fun, still going out, still exploring. That's the way I'm going to do it. That's the intention I've set. I'm not buying into that disease, sickness crap. That's just like, that's a mindset. That is absolutely a mindset that we're going to get sick and age in a certain way, and that's how it has to be, right? And we're going to be in bed when we die. No, actually, you can do it differently, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's a mindset shift as well. So I think we really need to move out of that old understanding of aging and what that looks like. That when we buy into that, that's what our experience is going to be, right? Again, that's what all these practices are. We get to choose how we want to relate to our lived experience and to the universe and to our world, right? I choose not to buy into that crap. That's just not going to serve me at all, right? So, thank you again for being here. Again, check out the rest of the series, and check out the rest of my channel for so much more to support you on your journey to be in your heart and love, and just so much fun and amazing time in these beautiful bodies on this gorgeous planet. So also check out my website for so many more resources, sessions, energy healing, sound healing, programs, pilgrimages, community events. There's so much going on there. So check that out. Get on my email list for exclusive content and all updates and lots of good stuff. So thank you all. I love you, and wishing you a very gorgeous, beautiful, super sexy, sensual day. Bye all.